love who? You can't be serious. What am I talking about? I want to talk to you today about loving your enemies. Jesus told us to love our enemies. We hear that and we go, are you out of your freaking mind? I'm not loving my enemies. They're enemies. But if you take the teachings of Jesus seriously, this is something that he talked about. And I wanted to share some things with you about how doing this has changed my life, has changed my heart. I wrote to my Victorious Souls community and shared with them about how love wins and what does that mean. And I talked about loving our enemies and what does that mean? What did Jesus mean when he said that? And how are we supposed to do that? What are you talking about? And are you really serious? Does that mean, we let criminals go free because you were supposed to just love them? No, that's not what Jesus is talking about. Are we supposed to just be a doormat for everybody because, we're supposed to just let them have their way because that's love? That's not love. But loving our enemies is all about our heart. It's not even about them at all, which that is a huge revelation. If we can really get it in our heart that loving our enemies has really nothing to do with our enemy, it has everything to do with us, that's when we will start to get breakthrough. I shared in my email to my community about a couple of situations. One is when I used to go to this other church, the pastor shared about his driving. He was an easily irritated and aggravated driver, which I could relate to because I like to get where I'm going. And getting behind people who are slow, I can get upset and frustrated and that, but not like I used to. Because what this pastor said to do, I was leaning in when he was saying it because it sounded so absurd. He's driving down the road and, someone cuts him off or someone's driving really slow or one of those things where you just go, and you're just going to freak out. And what he started to do is he started to say, to them, they can't hear him, obviously. He started to say, bless you. I was like, wow. And he talked about how that changed him. Didn't change the circumstance because, of course, the other driver can't hear you. That's ridiculous. But I started doing that. And sometimes it was really, 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 really hard. But when I would do that, it's like it untethered my heart to all that anger and frustration. It set my heart free. So this person was acting in a way that felt like an enemy, felt like they were out to get me, which, they're probably just not paying attention. And it set my heart free. Another story was much more intense, much more close to home and personal. And it had to do with my son a few years back, where he was betrayed by his employer. I won't get into the specifics because that's not the point here. The point here is I was so angry because it was a devastating situation. And the betrayal was just like, are you freaking serious? How could you even do this? I mean, that kind of a big, huge thing. And I'm so angry, I want to go over there and, I'm Mama Bear coming out. I'm going to go over there. I want to just rip the guy from limb like I could really do that. But anyways, if you ever had that Mama Bear kind of Papa Bear thing rise up in you, sister, brother, whatever your relationships you got, you just are so angry. And it was righteous anger because this person had done wrong. They were in the wrong. They were an enemy to my son. And I have a thing called quiet time. I pray and spend time with God. I do it a lot, not just in that time. But one morning, the Lord just impressed on me to bless this guy, to speak blessing over him. And my heart's going, are you freaking serious? No, I don't want to do that. And after arguing with God for a while, I did that. with tears just streaming down my face because it was so painful to do that. But after I did that, my heart was untethered to that anger. It didn't change anything. You know, the guy didn't know anything about it. And, you know, I still remember the situation, but I don't have that irrational anger inside me anymore. And then something even closer to home, I was thinking as I was preparing to share this live with you, this year, I didn't even share this with my community yet. It came up fresh this year. My family has suffered at the hands of business people who have treated us unrighteously, and it has cost us dearly in many, many ways. Again, that cycled. Instead of being angry and cursing them and speaking evil things over them, which is what rises up inside you because they're being an enemy to my family, they're being an enemy to our business, they're being an enemy to our finances, I've been praying for them and speaking blessing over them. And it is, again, untethered my heart from all that anger and bitterness that would want to just suck me down a hole. And these situations come up over and over again. We're living in a time post-pandemic when things are not happening the way we want them to. The supply chain is broken. We go to the store and we can't get this anymore. And then we can't do this. And then someone doesn't show up and people are acting really weird. And we could get upset and angry and all worked up because I can't finish my job here because I can't get this thing. And you get all angry, and this person is being an enemy to your business or being an enemy to your family or being an enemy to whatever part of your life. But if you feed that anger and sit in that anger, it will fester in your soul. It will manifest in sickness and disease. Or you could choose to love whatever is being your enemy at that time. You could let that love win your heart by untethering your heart from that anger and that bitterness, and love will win your heart. And I wanted to share that with you because it's so powerful. And it's not easy. It is not easy. But every time you do it, it gets a little bit easier. Like anything that's a new habit. If you've never done it before, you'll probably cry while you're doing it. Or maybe you need to break some plates or do something to get that energy out of your body, because anger is an energy. Emotions are energy in us. And we can't, if we suppress them, they go underground and they hurt us. We need to get those emotions out. So I am not telling you to just do this like it's some easy thing. It's not easy. It's possible. And love will win your heart if you will do this. If you will dare to love instead of hate. If you will dare to speak blessing instead of cursing, it will change you. So till next time, I'm Danielle Bernock from DanielleBernock.com. Love yourself from Survive to Thrive, that lady on the internet who loves you. Mwah. Bye-bye.